Okay, we are at the hangout sessions. It's Travis and Perry, and yeah, now the dust is beginning to settle. We're gonna touch upon this Sulley Muntari topic that took place in Italy the other weekend. So Perry, do you wanna like explain to the people if in case they missed it?
Yeah. So basically, I thought the story should be bigger than it is anyway.
Nah,
Like
hundred
we
percent,
shouldn't, we,
100%.
we shouldn't even need to be giving a breakdown of what happened. This should be massive news, but it's not really. Um, what happened was Sulley Muntari plays for what's the Spanish club called? It begins with a P. I forgot what they're called.
No, he's in
Um,
Italy.
sorry, Italian club.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, sorry, I forgot.
It's Pescara. So he plays for the
Yeah, that's
Italian clubs, Pescara.
yeah. Um, and like last week, he ended up getting racially abused by a child in the crowd in the match. And I think the child was a fan of the other team, right? I think.
Mm.
And I mean, we're saying it like child, like the child just walked to the game by himself. Like, where's this kid's parents for one? And yeah, so what happened was Sulley Muntari stopped and he gave. Did he? Was it at what point did he go up to the kid and offer him his shirt?
See, so now I don't know much about this kid, but from what I know, he went to the referee, yeah, and he looked very upset, and he's explaining to the referee what's just happened.
And the ref told him just to get on with it, sort of thing.
Basically, obviously he's passionate, and the referee's booked him. And at this point, he's obviously lost it, and he's walked off the pitch. And if you leave the pitch without being told to leave the pitch, you get a yellow. So he got a second yellow. So it's been dealt with. There's been a lack of sensitivity there. Do you know what I mean? Like he's
And he got a 1 match ban.
Yeah, so that's it. That's what happened. Well, naturally, when you get sent off, you get a match ban.
And then when he got sent off, he went to give the kid his shirt, and he gave the kid his shirt, saying he was trying to teach him a lesson or something, some ridiculous statement.
See,
Like that.
I didn't even know about all of that. The kid situation, in it. That's all mad.
Yeah, he gave the kid his shirt, or like he offered his shirt. I don't know if he actually gave it to him. He offered the kid his shirt, and then people were like, "What do you think? That's a good gesture?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, it's a really positive gesture, showing that like he's not affected by it and all that sort of stuff." But
Is what makes me kind of sick is that his club didn't even back him.
yeah, no one backed him, and he's still
Like,
speaking out about it. He's had interviews since with BBC, CNN, stuff like that. He had one, which really interesting one, which I saw on CNN yesterday.
mm,
And that was a good one because the interviewer asked him, how do you feel about it all, like now? And he just went silent for like 10 seconds before he even answered. And he's like, just thinking about it is just making me upset again because
I don't.
to these football.
Go on.
Go on.
Now you said to these footballers,
I was saying to these like other footballers and stuff, like no one in his club backed him, man. Like you're a team, yeah. So if he was to get into, if one of the players was to get into a fight, they'd be more likely to have the rest of the team back them. But when someone's getting racial abuse, suddenly it turns into this whole taboo topic, and all the other players, the white players on the pitch, don't know what to do, and they're looking around all funny. Like, bruv, just back him, innit? Like, he's your teammate, man.
yeah,
Like, he's your
mm,
teammate. If one of you's getting racially abused, like, you need to just back it. Like, it's not even for me, it's not even a debate. Like, that's just unacceptable, straight up.
yeah.
Up and down.
That's what made him most upset. The fact that his club literally did not help him, so he had to launch his own appeal. You know what I mean?
And the ref said to him something like, when they tried to like do the own appeal sort of thing and prosecute the fans who were racially abusing him, because it wasn't just a child, but the club replied, "We're not going to do that because there's only like 10 fans or something," literally along them lines. They're like, there's only 10 fans, we're not going to prosecute the other team because they don't represent the whole club. It's like, bro, if you let in once you start letting in like a little bit, you might as well let the whole thing in. You can't accept a little bit of racism. Like, how does that work? Yeah. We'll allow a little bit of racism, but we're not going to let the whole stadium start throwing bananas in.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? That doesn't make any sense.
I liked what Garth Crooks had to say about it the other day, because he was just like, look, these black players in Italy like don't go on strike this weekend, they basically he was like they basically got no self-respect, basically. Like, he went along that line, just straight Garth Crooks. Like,
Muntari even said in his interview, I saw the interviewer said to him, would you support like future protests and stuff? And he's like, I'd be the one leading it. And I was like, good for you for saying that, because that's not, his agent would not be telling him to say that. His agent would be like, bruv, just shut up, take your 100 grand a week, whatever you're on, just take it, play football, ride out this ban, it's one game, and just keep playing. But he's come out and said, look, I will be involved in any future protest, anti-racism. You got to think, as a footballer, that's not a very marketable approach, especially playing in the continent, playing in countries like Italy and Spain, who also have a reputation for racism against black footballers. That's not a very marketable rhetoric to hold for a football player, to say that they'd be the spearhead of any sort of stance against racism in modern football. That's not, that would scare a lot of these clubs off, to be fair. So that's a very brave thing for him to do. And regarding his t-shirt thing, that's dead, man. Allow giving the kids a t-shirt, and it like, this is another thing I've not liked about this situation, is how it just reminds me of that black people constantly have to prove their humanity to other people, and prove through these like biblical like gestures of kindness that they're like worthy of being accepted. Like, nah, man, if somebody's unwilling to accept you as a basic human being, like, there's no compromise for me. There's just 0% compromise. I'm not even 10%. Like, I'm glad he walked off the pitch. It gave me it reminded me of Eto'o. It reminded me of Eto'o, when Eto'o stormed off the pitch a good few years ago with Barcelona, because he was getting racially abused. I just think this needs a zero tolerance approach, man.
Because it shouldn't.
It's embarrassing.
Race should. It's
embarrassing.
And it,
like, if I was a fan of that club, I'd be embarrassed. Bro. Like, if Arsenal started doing things like that, I'd be so embarrassed. Like, regardless of my race, I'd just be like, that is embarrassing. Right? That's not, regardless of lack of class, it's just embarrassing to have that level of.
I'd like to think there were fans. I'd like to think there were fans of them that were embarrassed.
We need to interview one of the fans of this club, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. We need to interview one of the fans of the club. That's it, Pescara. Yeah. So, but like, I can understand. I don't know, because of the lack of sympathy from the Italian footballers and the referee and the FA. I don't know if they're even deep in how much of an issue this is, because they're just acting like, look, man, it's just a bit of racism. Just chill, bro. Like, you're getting paid a lot of money.
The head of the FIGC, which is basically like, that's basically the Italian FA, innit? He referred to like African players as banana eaters, like back in 2000.
What?
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the man who is in the head of the FIGC. And if you don't believe that, Google that right now. Stop this video. Just go and Google that right now. Honestly, like, that actually happened. So
that's mad.
There's problems in Italy. I don't know if you can remember, but Kevin Boateng walked off before.
Yeah. I'm all for the walking off, man. Just
bruv.
Like, zero tolerance. Like, just there's no. I don't think it should be something that you should be expected to negotiate with or put up with. Like, this is 2017. These are athletes, who are in the top 1 percentile of people who are able to achieve that level of professionalism and athletic achievement, to even get to that level, regardless of their race. They need to be respected for that alone.
Oh my god! Like, I've just found a list of other things that took place in Italy. I don't want this to like. Bro, so I've got a year later, Atalanta, like was it Atalanta fans threw bananas at Kevin Constant, an AC Milan defender. In 2015, October, Stefano Arenio, ex-Milan and Derby County player. So this is a player who played in the Premier League, probably surrounded by black players. He was sacked by a Swiss TV company after he said live on air that black players are not accustomed to paying attention to certain details.
Okay.
Like, we've got a few months before that, an Italian coach told national media that Italy's youth setup features too many blacks. And if you go and look at a lot of the youth teams over there, there are a lot of black players in like the Italian youth system.
In what country?
In Italy. Yeah, a lot of like African, like Balotelli's, like they're coming through, man. Because obviously, come on, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Muntari said that the interviewer said to him, "Oh, so where do you think we can go from here?" sort of thing. And he goes, "Look," he's like, "there's racism every game." He's like, "This ain't new." He's like, "Every game." And she was like, "What? Every literal game?" He's like, "Every game." He's like, "I was on the bench the other night and we had a player on the pitch and he's getting racially abused. I can hear it from the dugout." He's like, "Every game in Italy, there's racism." So for him, this thing that happened to him is probably something that reached boiling point. It probably wasn't a random angry black man getting mad at the game. Like everyone's gonna look at it. Like he's probably like, you know what? I'm not having it no more. Like any normal, rational human being would do if they're being undermined and demeaned during their performance. It's like if you went to go watch an opera singer, are you going to pay money to go to opera singer so that you can racially abuse them, just despite their level of achievement being superior to yours, and the fact that you're paying to watch them perform? Just watch them. But why are you racially abusing the performer? Like, what is going on?
Just watch the game. But also, I'm just looking at the comments on this this thing that I found. So one of the people has just said everyone involved in the game should stand united against racism regardless of skin color. Like, agree, like that's something we'd say. And someone's replied, Italy is being invaded by Africans on a daily basis thanks to the EU open door policy. Maybe maybe this is a way for normal Italians to vent their frustration because nobody is listening to the people. That's like their reply.
Again, the CNN interview again is very insightful because the interviewer said to him, "Do you think that this racism is a direct response to what we're seeing in the Italian government?" Or I basically think she's referring to the immigration at the moment. And he said yes. He said clearly. He's like yes, but Italy's always had an issue with black people anyway. But what was I going to say? The Muntari, I feel like this is something that's gonna make, when one big story comes out, it's a medium-sized story, but whenever one big story comes out, everything else that happens after that for the next like I don't know, couple months or something, it's gonna be under the microscope. So we're gonna hear about a few more little stories that come out like this because Ari's actually spoken about,
like news trends. Like
you're gonna hear a few little things coming out now, and it's good because it shouldn't go under the radar, man. It's not a small issue. This is the thing. Like, it's not small. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of American podcasts, like you do, And it's embarrassing when they say things like, and this is coming from America, when we know how bad the race issue is over there. And I've heard podcasts where they're like, "Yeah, but have you seen the soccer players in Europe? They get bananas chucked at them. The black players get bananas. People over there doing monkey chants." And I'm just like, dude, man, that's proper. That's embarrassing, bro. Like that's not good, man. To have that label attached to where black players play football, that's not cool. But the interview actually said to Muntari, "What do you think can happen? Like, what can be done?"
Now, I love that he walked off, man, because you got to make a stand. I don't understand. There's people that actually think he's crazy for walking off. Like, they don't why did he walk off?
Yeah, because they're like, he's just getting paid and just get on with it, bro. That's not. I just wish people would get it, man. I wish people would get it. I think it takes a certain level of empathy, not even empathy. What is the word I'm looking for? It's understanding to get why that is such a big issue. It's not a small thing, man. But I like how Muntari basically brought up England, and very interesting that he brought up England because he has a history of racism, but ours kind of died out in the 90s. And since then, it's been less of a common occurrence. And when it has been an occurrence, it's hit news headlines and been dealt with. And it's kind of the envy of other clubs, or it's kind of it's kind of the archetype for how a league should be run indiscriminately of race currently, anyway, at the moment. We've got, despite a few hiccups here and there, but Britain had to go through. England had to go through almost like a period of like bad racism for it to get to this stage. Everyone who knows their stuff will recall stories from the 80s where black players just got hell every game when they first started appearing in the Premier League. But England got out of it though. We got out of it, and I don't think there's any way that Italy or Spain will get out of it. Personally, I don't think they're going to get. And where is it that what's his name plays? Frimpong. He got racially abused as well.
Russia. Was it in Russia?
Yeah, yeah. So like,
you know that country that's hosting the World Cup next year.
Yeah, he gets racially abused often, from what I hear. So England is the figurehead for it, but we had to go through a spell where it's terrible. Do you think that Italy, Spain, Russia, these other countries where the black populations are low and there isn't a black community, like a substantial black community like we see in the UK, you think that they're going to still be able to go through that? And the reason I would, before you answer, the reason I would say no is because I don't think they actually care. That's my answer. I don't think they care enough that it can go through that sort of change.
That's kind of depressing, man.
Like, why would they care, really?
Well, the fact that their youth teams are full of black players, like I urge everyone to go and have a look at this as well, because it's not just something I'm saying or something that's being said. There are a lot of young black African players playing in the academies of Juventus, Lazio, Napoli, like AC Milan, Roma. Like, have a look. But yeah, but he's played in Italy for so many like years. Like,
yeah, I know. I
remember. He's played for
like,
yeah. So it's just like you said, this would have definitely been a build up, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he said he's experienced it his whole time in Italy. He's experienced it his whole time while he's been there.
So what necessarily did he say about like England?
He was
what did he?
He said, he's like, when I look at England, I'm just like, wow, because he's like, I played over there, and there's no, you just play, innit? Like, he's like, you just play football. He's like, I like that. Basically, he said that's ideal.
Oh, I like that. I can just play football and not get racist abuse. Do you know what? Yeah, sometimes it's like, it's not even a racist abuse that will upset you, because personally, as someone who's secure in the color, of my skin, like, that's not going to affect me, to be honest. Like, but it's just looking around and having no support from your, support. Like, that's the painful thing. Like,
no one getting it. It's not the fact that you're black and you're upset because somebody called you black or this or black that. That's got absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I saw it when it happened. He's the only one who went up to the ref. The rest of his teammates are just standing there with their hands on their hips, kind of waiting for him to shut up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, the other team are looking around like, what's going on?
Control your player.
Yeah, like, he's flipping out. The manager's probably thinking, oh God, you've got this Muntari's gone crazy. He's gone loose. Like, what's going on? Like, these times, all he wanted was just to be treated like all the other white players on the pitch. That's it. Because he's playing at the same level as them. Like, that is it. That's the beginning and end of that situation. And He completely disrespected him. The ref was probably looking at him like, "Who is this clown? Like, what is this guy going on about?" Like, I can't really hear no chants. I heard like 10 monkey chants, bro. Like, it's not that deep. I saw like 5 bananas get thrown at you. Chill, man. No. That's not a good mentality to have on the situation. It's not a progressive mentality. But are we living in a progressive society? That's the question. And you have to argue that
We're not.
you have to argue that it's kind of is it related to the politics that are happening socio-economically in the world at the moment?
And I think, yeah. And I think that's what Sulley Muntari was. I think that's what the woman asked, and I think that's what Sulley Muntari conceded. Really, he said that that's what it was.
But Italy's always had this issue. So regardless of the current climate, political climate, Italy has had this issue for a long time. So it may not even be directly related to it. I don't know.
Anyway, that's what me and Perry think here at the Hangout sessions. It's an interesting one. Leave your comments or interact with us on Twitter at the Hang Sesh. Find us on Facebook /the Hang Sesh, SoundCloud /the Hang Sesh. Like, we're out there. You should be able to just Google us and find us at this point. So yeah, let us know what you think or share the links. We are out.